Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we finished up the race to the 2031 Stanley Cup playoffs, and we're here. We are the President's Trophy winners in 2031, folks. The last two episodes that I recorded, the first part of the regular season and then the second half, were just complete and utter opposites. We started off the season terribly. We were the worst. I think by the time we ended 2 episodes ago, we were the worst team in the Central Division, or something along those lines. Now, it was right about here where we started to, I would say it was probably January where we definitely started to pick up steam. Everything started to turn around for us, which was huge relief, because I had made some major moves in the offseason, trading away Jack Eichel. Trading away Jack Eichel is definitely the center of the moves in the off season. I'm glad we turned it around. We are the President's Trophy winners. This is the first time in, I want to say, 7 years we haven't had 60 plus wins, which unrealistic. Yeah, that we didn't win 60. No, it's just shows that this team could have been so much better. I was saying, you know what? I know there were a lot of people change this up. Gogolev is not doing the best. Him here everywhere. I completely get that. I get our team wasn't working for around half the season. I completely understand that. I understood it. I wasn't going to make a panic move or a panic change to this roster that would definitely hurt us. I had to trust this roster that came off of 2 Stanley Cup wins. Now, there are some moving pieces. There are a few new guys here and there. Starting goaltender is new, Cody Tallender. I had to trust this team. They are still very, very similar to the teams that won Stanley Cups. Obviously, no Jack Eichel hurts us. He was a major player for the Conn Smythe the last 2 years. It hurts us, but I think we're going in the right general direction. I know I freaked out in the last 2 episodes because I'm not used to this. I've simulated for close to a month, 2 months, where this team has been undeniably the best. And this game is a little weird, It happens. I get it. But this team was shaky. It was. There were points where I'm like, damn, we're giving up. We're winning games 9-5, 11-2. We're giving up a lot of goals. Now, I went over the regular season stats in the end of the last episode, so go ahead and check that out. Anthony Francis, for the 3rd straight year, he will not be winning the Art Ross, but he has a chance to prove himself in the playoffs. I know he doesn't really have much to prove, but I'm sure he wants to go out there and make a name for himself. Now, we also have 5 first-round picks this year that I'm going to go ahead and talk all about, because I'm excited. The draft isn't around the corner. It's just push it off a little whiles away. It's nothing super important in this very moment in time, but I think it could be important for you guys to be like, hey, you have 5 first-round draft picks. We have Detroit's first-round draft pick. We sent them Maurice Potvin, a former top 5 pick, top 10 pick, meaning elite defenseman. We had our problems with him, but Detroit, I will take that first. The worst it could be, I believe, is 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6. Crazy. That's huge for us. I believe we also have, I want to say we have Dallas's first-round pick. We also have New York's. And then I want to say we have, I thought we had 3 teams miss the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. I might be a little stupid. I might be a little slow, but I'm pretty sure that I might be a little wrong. 2 lottery picks is humongous. Either which way is good. It's money. It's absolute money in the bank. Looking at the postseason this year, it is going to be an interesting interesting Stanley Cup race. Today we are facing the Nashville Predators, 42, 35, and 5. That's not the best of records. That kind of like limped into the postseason. I thought we were gonna kind of have finished sort of like them. That's what our pace was like. We were supposed to miss the playoffs the majority of the season, and then we just kicked it in high gear and really didn't lose at all. 9-1 in our last 10. Nashville is here because other teams around them didn't do as well. At the end of the day, that's exactly how the standings work, right? But Nashville, I faced them, I want to say, once or twice in previous years. I'm intrigued to see what they look like in 2031. It's a new decade, ladies and gents. What do the Nashville Predators look like? I know we have a little bit of history with them, so what are the Preds looking like? In that first line, I can already tell is dangerous. Branislav Jelovec, whatever you want to say. That's a creative player that I put in the draft. Edo Iguchi and Alexander Holtz. Edo Iguchi is a simulation beast. Don't think he's been as pivotal in this franchise mode. Haven't noticed him as much because I don't know why. I was gonna say, oh, he's in the West. We're in the West too. I keep forgetting we're not Columbus anymore. 94 points this season. He was a powerhouse for Nashville. Definitely a big reason why they're here. Branislav, 94 overall, 26 years of age, 98 points. He's good for at least 70 points a season. He seems to be a player for the Preds. Holtz, that was a guy that we didn't draft over Lucas Raymond. If you don't know about the Lucas Raymond saga, we drafted him. Didn't work, turned him into a center, sent him to Detroit. Got a few assets. Happy. I think, you know what, I want to say, no, I think I might be wrong. We sent him to Detroit for a first-round draft pick that turned out to be Maurice Potvin, and then we sent Maurice Potvin to Detroit. I could be 100% wrong. I probably am. I have no idea. That first line's really good. They could definitely shut our first line down. I know our first line was phenomenal this season. A really team effort there in the trio. But this is a good shutdown line that can definitely play with us. Second line doesn't get any easier for us. Patrick Harper, you got Manny Cavallo, and Timo Meier, 34 years of age for the Preds. Former San Jose Shark. He's one of the older guys on this roster. He's definitely going to be a big name player for them. The fourth line, Taro Sugimoto. Daniel Sprong, who's 34, seems to be the cap right now, and Nils Hoglander. Now, if you don't know about Nils Hoglander, you must be newer to this franchise mode series. Nils Hoglander, we can go all the way back to, I want to say, season 1 or 2 at the draft, where we traded with Vancouver, traded them Jared Spurgeon for a first, and Nils Hoglander, a young, I want to say, 18, 19-year-old Nils Hoglander. He was with Minnesota. He was with us for a few years. 72 seemed to be his cap. 50 points. He was good for 50 points, 65 points every season he was with us. He just kind of turned for the worst there at the end. Our prospects were getting really, really good, and I didn't really see a place for him on the roster, especially with Langweeder getting so good. With Nashville, he's been a solid player. 70 points seems to be his cap for his career, so hopefully he plays his worst hockey in this postseason because I'm scared to face former players. It's a really good top 9. Fourth line really doesn't get any easier for us. Kari Latinen, you got Antonio Stranges, and then Marcus Dahl. It's a really good forward core. But if they spent all their money at the forward spot. Defense, oh no. Nashville tanked there for a few seasons. They went after guys like Julian and Niederberger. That's what they did. The years that they missed the playoffs, where they tanked, where they were bad, where we stole one of their first-round draft picks that turned into a defenseman that's currently on the team. They drafted defensemen very, very highly rated defensemen. They got Simmons here, who they also drafted really, really high overall. really strong defenseman. Now, I've seen teams in the past have one cornerstone defenseman and have middle of the pack 80 overall defenseman. But they have some top-tier talent here at the D-line, okay? Charlie Leddy, Oscar Gunderson, and Cale Jalen. I'm butchering that, I know that for sure, but that's a really good defensive core. They've spent their money really, really wisely, especially since they're a pretty young team, I would say. These guys are only just off some of their ELCs. It's a smart play from Nashville. That's what a good rebuild does. I'm looking at you, Montreal. God dang it, Marc Bergevin. But I'm not here to complain about the Montreal Canadiens. The goaltending. Spencer Knight, 29 years of age, and then a Pyotr Kochetkov. That's a really good tandem. Now, overalls for goalies really don't matter in this game because EA, am I right? You can have an 89 overall goaltender that plays like a 36 overall goalie. You can have an 80 overall goalie perform like a 99 overall. Doesn't matter. As long as he has a good defense around him, the computer does whatever it feels like, really. Especially with that good forward core. This team, I'm surprised, wasn't as good in the regular season. They have Dennis Malgin, Tyrone Hickey, and Boris Glebov as their scratch skaters. I get why this team wouldn't gel, especially with all the top-tier players on the third line. That usually doesn't work out. You usually try to spread the wealth out and not have too much top 6 talent in your top 9. You know what I mean. You don't want to have like an 86 overall playing on your third line. I know we have Chris Griffin who's an 85, but that's beside the point. This game's weird. Sometimes it's hard to gel a team like that, but they're here in the postseason. They could do some damage, and obviously somebody has to go and flush the toilet. Really appreciate it, House. Appreciate it. It's like the moment I start to record, they do exactly that. But I know what you guys are here for, but before I head into the postseason, I want you to go into the description below. There's a few links I would like you to go and check out. They are for polls. It's voting season. Not in politically, because I don't want to get into that. But for hockey, NHL 20 here on this YouTube channel. Franchise modes are my specialty, so go ahead and check that out if you feel like it. If you're new here, just enjoy the ride. Game number 1, XL Energy Center. After a poor start to the season, we are President's Trophy winners, meaning we have home ice advantage all the way through the postseason. Let's see if we can three-peat. Game number 1. Here we go. Home ice. We are completely healthy heading into game number 1. First period. 1-0. Anthony Francis with a shorthanded goal. Man, 4:30 remaining in the first period. Wish it was 4:20 because the moment I'm recording this, we just hit 420 subscribers. Funny. Shorthanded goal to start the postseason. I will take it. There's pretty high shot volume in the first 20 minutes. 15-10 in our favor. Second period. Okay. Sugimoto ties it almost at the exact same time as Francis scored in the first period. Tallender is doing his best, but the offense has been not very busy this night. Power play for Nashville. Are we going to... That's a long... Anthony Francis with a shorthanded goal again. 2 shorthanded goals on the evening. And Jelovac ties the game on the power play. The special teams have been important this evening. Timo Meier scores to break the deadlock at 3-2. Power play late for Minnesota. Anthony Francis completes the Hattie, forcing overtime in game number 1. This is an instant classic for the Nashville Predators and Minnesota Wild. Anthony Francis having himself a phenomenal game number 1. You know the rules. If it's not an elimination game or the Stanley Cup Finals, we do not jump into overtime. Shots are pretty even, 36-32. Here we go. Come on, Minnesota. End this one. The comeback kids. I don't know how I'm going to handle the loss here, though. Power play for Minnesota. We kill it off. Huge kill. Can we get another goal? Come on, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota, please. Oh God, are we heading to a second frame of overtime? Yes, we are. The goaltenders have been busy tonight. I know 3 goals is 3 goals, but 47 shots is 47 shots. We are leading them in shots 47-41. You know what's going to end here in the second frame? Who is going to take home the series lead? Power play early. Another power play. Minnesota ends it. Pete Curry on that third line. No, this is his sophomore season for the Minnesota Wild, but a big game from our biggest star in Anthony Francis, opening up the series in stellar fashion. An overtime game. We are burnt out, staying here in Minnesota Wild hotels. Minnesota Wild hotels? I don't know. Game number 2. Here we go. First period. Okay, we open the scoring. Louis Langmeter and Lionel Waters. Sugimoto cuts the lead in half. 2 minutes remaining in the period. Of course, our goaltenders know how to let in late period goals. Shots are pretty even. 13-10 in our favor. I'll take the goals, though. I'll take the goals. Second period. Oh, yes. Sergei Gogolev. A phenomenal transition to the second line this year. No, he had a little bumps along the road to start his career, but he's young, 22, I think. Big goal, making it a 2-goal lead, and we outshoot them 31-14. Heading into the third period, can we hold out for 20 minutes? Power play, Alexei Petrangelo, first of the postseason. Kirill Kaprizov obviously wanted to get in a little bit of the fun. Power play for Nashville, and this should be all she wrote for game number 2, heading to the Bridgestone Arena. That was very, very hard to pronounce. A bridge is a funny word, you know? You know when you say a word so many times, you forget what that word means. That's like Anthony Francis scoring goals in game number 1. Whoa! Big game from some guys you wouldn't really expect to show up this early in the postseason. And we walk into the Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, Tennessee, with a 2-0 series lead, I believe. Yeah, there's a few other series at 2-0. Montreal over Florida. You got us over Nashville, Avalanche over Chicago, and San Jose over LA. Okay, postseason is definitely shaping up so far, but this is a long series yet. Game number 3, let's see if we can keep the momentum going. First period, 0-0. Okay, first scoreless period of the series. Shots are pretty even yet again, 11-10 in our favor. Second period. Okay, I will freaking take that. Cale Newman opens the scoring. Sugimoto ties it pretty soon after. A minute later, or literally just under that, 59 seconds to be exact. Yikes, okay. Sugimoto has been a player all series long, even though we're only not even 3 games in. This is period number 7? I mean, I'm terrible at math. There was 1 overtime. I'm terrible at math. This is game number 3, but he has been a beast so far. Lionel Waters gets the lead for us on the power play. Second period. Oh my God, what a period and a half. Yellowvac ties the game. Anthony Francis gets the lead. Cavallo ties the game. Bobby Lev on that fourth line. Cale Newman. Patrick Harper cuts the lead to 1. Obviously, Tallender letting up a late period goal. I don't know what it is with their goaltenders not being able to hold a lead late in a period. I don't know what it is. What am I supposed to do with these goalies? Throw them into the sun. It doesn't matter how good your overall is. Throw them into the sun. Third period, we are out shooting them by a country mile. 12 shots to be exact. Take the goal. I'll take the lead in goals, though. For third period underway, here we go. Oh. Wait, what? Am I having... Oh my God, I'm so stupid. How did I just realize that? Oh, I feel so stupid. Oh, a 3-0 lead in the series. How did I not realize that? I forgot the first period happened. Oh, I'm such a tool. I'm like, why can't I simulate? So we win. A phenomenal third period. Patrick Harper trying to tie it late. But we win game number 3. How was I so oblivious to that? I was just enjoying the ride, baby. Wow, Gogolev. Was that Bobalev with 7 hits or Gogolev? I can't really remember. So after I blunder there in game number 3 on my end, the general manager's end, I don't know how I completely screwed that up. I will not do that again. But a 3-0 series lead is a 3-0 series lead nonetheless. Game number 4, a chance to end it here in Nashville. Momentum is completely on our side. First period. 1-0. Alexei Petrangelov, I believe his second goal of the postseason. Okay, we're out shooting them 15-9. Second period. There's no way I can blunder this. Brant Clark, the first, I want to say, defensive goal of the postseason so far. Petrangelov on the power play. Kaprizov getting on the board again. Petrangelov again. 43 seconds in that period. We are out shooting them by a boat load. Power play for Nashville. It doesn't matter. As long as they don't score 5 goals in this period, we should be fine. A goal from the captain, his second of the evening, I believe. 6-1 victor. 6-2. Nashville scores. That should be enough to head back to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Alexei Petrangelov with 5 points this evening. He's making a run at 3 straight Conn Smythe trophies. He was relatively quiet in games number 1 and 2, but a phenomenal performance nonetheless. We sweep the Nashville Predators in the first round of the postseason, but the real question is, who will we be facing in round numero dos? Who is it going to be? We will be facing the Colorado Avalanche. Ooh, Christian Rensfeldt, here we come. Battle of the Beasts in the Central Division. Get the popcorn out. That will be a fun series. Now, since this episode is cut a little short, it's 20-ish minutes long, I'm not going to go into the stats. I'm going to leave that for next episode so we can start off with some positive news. But I want to end this with something really, really positive. We just hit 420 subscribers. The best. I also want to thank you guys for all your continued support. Now, I believe I have a video going up about channel update. Please go watch it if you haven't seen it already. Please, it's important to the overall arching of this channel, if that's even Anglais. But I would really, really appreciate your support. We're trying to hit 600 before the end of the year. I think that is very, very capable because you are the best fans on the planet. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment, share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.